Good evening and thank you for joining us. A big decision for City Council regarding the proposed indoor turf facility. The final report will be discussed at tomorrow's meeting, coming with a mandatory bid cap of $42.7 million. That's over the $38 million limit previously approved by Council in November. City staff are asking Council to approve an option that would be the most energy efficient while reducing some unnecessary components of the build. The now preferred location next to the community auditorium was first proposed by Soccer Northwest. President Michael Veneziali says his organization would be willing to work with city staff on next steps if this is approved tomorrow.
We have basically an open door policy. We will go and help out in any way we can with them. I hope we're included as much as possible to ensure the things that are required in the facility are in there and extras aren't. There is some talk about some other potential things that could go in the building that I think will add costs but not give much to it. So I'm hoping we can stay on track to keep the costs down on the building.
What's important to be mindful of is the changing demographics of Thunder Bay. I mean, we very much have more Southeast Asian students and international and immigrants moving to Thunder Bay. And, you know, turf sports are what they play. We're playing cricket, we're playing soccer, and that's ultimately for the Thunder Bay of the future. This is the facility of the future.
If approved, the recommendation would have a tax levy impact of 0.7%. Staying with local politics, as the city is in discussions with Richardson Grain Terminal regarding the waterfront trail, as a portion would pass through the property. Officials say that's just one of many private landowners that'll have to be worked with to complete the project. Continuing the extensive work to develop the waterfront trail.
There's several tracks right now that are a barrier to continuing the waterfront trail.
The city is currently in discussions with Richardson Terminal, as staff are looking at a possible realignment of the waterfront trail planned to pass through that property. It's considered a crucial part of the project that would extend the trail to Fisherman's Park. City Director Kayla Dixon says the plan is to have as little impact as possible on Richardson, but recognizes the importance of this portion of the project.
Certainly it's a major barrier, so but it's also something that's going to get us to the terminus, which would be great to have users be able to connect into Fisherman's Park and then all the way up through the Boulevard and Trowbridge trails. They've made some changes to their operations, so now we're looking to find something that can hopefully work around those new operations.
A consultant is looking into realignment options, which will be presented to Richardson Grain Terminal in the coming weeks.
Only 6% of our waterfront is publicly accessible.
Current River Councillor Andrew Folds chairs the Waterfront Trail Committee. He says with so much of the trail still to be developed, there'll be many other private landowners to negotiate with down the line.
Involves some goodwill, some collaboration, some negotiation, ultimately. And, you know, sometimes you'll be successful and sometimes there'll be some challenges, but, you know, that doesn't mean that the work stops. We'll continue to work hard and recognize the vision of the waterfront trail as being something wonderful.
Residents were walking around Boulevard Lake this morning to support hospice care in the community. The Hike for Hospice Walk is Hospice Northwest's largest fundraiser and supports the various services it offers. Jessica Clement reports.
The 13th annual Hike for Hospice event had over 100 people making the 5-kilometer trek around Boulevard Lake Sunday morning to help raise funds for Hospice Northwest. This year's theme was Hike, Support, Remember, and participants had the chance to take part in remembrance ceremonies during the walk.
Every hiker is given a flower so they can cast that on the water if they want to in memory of a loved one they've lost. They'll also be given a ribbon. They can write the name of someone that they've lost and are missing and tie it to the Butterfly Memorial Wall at Adelaide Street.
Hospice Northwest's new executive director, Donna Jean-Pierre, says Hike for Hospice is their biggest fundraiser, and their goal for 2024 is $50,000. She says overall the walk has raised over $600,000, with the funds going towards their various programs, including palliative care support and grief and bereavement services.
We want to raise awareness of the important work that we do thanks to the really well-trained grief and bereavement and palliative volunteers that we have. We want to make sure that the conversations are happening around the supports that we're able to offer people who are at end of life or going through grief and loss. And we also just really want to raise the funds that we need to keep that support going in our community.
This year, attendees had the chance to hear from the Binch family, who shared the story of the sudden loss of their child and their experience with Hospice Northwest.
After we lost Fletcher, we knew we needed to get help, but we weren't really sure where to reach out to, and Hospice Northwest was a really great support for us. Within days of Fletcher's passing, they were able to connect us with various different services. They were extremely compassionate and understanding. Since then, in the last year, we've attended quite a few different workshops and programming for ourselves and for our 4-year-old son.
They emphasized how helpful the organization can be for those grieving loved ones.
I would recommend the services to anybody that's grieving the loss of someone that they love. Some of the services we have attended have been really specific to a certain population, such as like bereaved parent workshops. But we've also attended things that are just, grief and gardening.
More information about Hospice Northwest and Hike for Hospice can be found online at hospicenorthwest.ca. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Meanwhile, on the other side of town, another walk was taking place to raise money for cystic fibrosis research. It's the most common fatal genetic illness affecting children and young adults, and dozens of Thunder Bay residents laced up for the cause. They joined the hundreds of other walkers across the country with the goal to someday find a cure. To honor the 20th year milestone, the local committee have chosen a $20,000 fundraising goal, with the funds going towards research, innovation, and clinical care. Walk coordinator Karen Daniliski says the walk plays an important part in making life easier for those with cystic fibrosis.
Until we have a cure for CF or an effective control that extends the lives to normal lifespans, we need to continue to raise the money to fund the research and help us find the drugs that'll help.
Those who missed the event can still support the Cystic Fibrosis Walk until the end of August. Donations can be made online at cysticfibrosis.ca. To Terrace Bay now, where it's now been more than 4 months since the closure of the mill. Many have found work elsewhere, but for those still looking, Contact North wants to help. Contact North no longer has an office in Terrace Bay, but they set up shop at the library last week to connect with laid-off mill workers and raise awareness of their services, which are still available online. Education and training advisor Kathy Falzetta planned the After the Mill event to help connect unemployed mill workers with the training opportunities they need to get the jobs available in the region.
I think a lot of people don't want to relocate, so it's hard to find a job unless you can move, but there's a lot of jobs in construction, mining, that they can do the camp life, they call it, where they fly in and fly out, and then they can still keep their homes here. So there would be the safety mining courses they would have to complete.
A month back, my wife showed up from India, and I got married a year back, and I started family here. And this is an unfortunate situation right now, how it happened. And yeah, I'm constantly try to find work, and dealing with this new employment agencies where they're trying to find jobs and trying to look for part-time jobs in this region where I'm comfortable right now. I don't want to move to other places.
Rishikesh Kurakunda lost his job as maintenance project coordinator at the end of March and says it's been very difficult since then, but that the Contact North event has given him new hope. Contact North's free training and education support is available at contactnorth.ca. Anyone without internet access can also visit the learning centers in Marathon and Red Rock. Arrows were flying through the air at Algonquin Avenue School as students put their skills to the test. The National Archery in Schools program has the students in the older grades learning the art of archery. Officials say it's a fun and practical learning experience. TBT's newest reporter, Justin Hardy, has more.
Students in grade 4 through 8 at Algonquin Avenue Public School have been honing their archery skills since the start of the school year. Principal Darren Lentz says the sheer amount that the students learned through archery made bringing the National Archery in Schools program to the school an easy choice.
It was a way to engage them in a different opportunity than they've ever had in a phys ed class, and a different sport than they've had the opportunity of doing. So it's wonderful to give them a different opportunity, and many of the kids have taken to it and are really doing well with the sport.
Tim Watts, provincial coordinator for the program, says one of the reasons students seem to take up the sport so eagerly is how accessible it is to everyone.
It does not matter if you are tall or short, or left-handed or right-handed, or young or old. Every single person in this school from grade 4 and up can shoot a bow and arrow. Okay? When a school invests in the archery equipment, every single student will use it.
I was excited because I've never shot bows before and nothing like that. It's a really fun experience.
As part of the program, Algonquin students will be competing virtually with 700 others from across the province. Points will be awarded based on proximity to the bullseye, and awards will be mailed to winners. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
We're now joined by sports anchor Nev Van Pelt. Nev, I just have to say, I was there with Justin. After about 30 shots, I did hit one bullseye. I was pretty proud of myself. It took a little while, but we're not here to talk about my terrible archery skills. The Chill were in action today in a friendly.
Yes, their final friendly before their home opener on Friday. We'll have the highlights for you after the break.